Hey folks, wanted to give you just another life update. So, we're still in Washington. Um, Still chilling at the parents' house. It's still stunning up here. Mickey is just thriving up here, which is fantastic. He really needed to get out of Long Beach, get into a bigger house, get into a yard that he can run around in, and all that whatnot, and all that stuff. It really did help him just become a toddler, which was great. For me, okay, so let's see what has happened. So we found a house. We put an offer in on the house. Offer was accepted. House went through inspection. Did the whole counter offer thing. Got that approved and whatnot. So we are currently in closing. We just started that process. Whatever is involved in there. We took a home mortgage course and whatnot, and explained all that stuff for us. So we're in that process where basically it's all in the lender's hands at this point. So that's exciting. The big thing for me is I'm still working. Basically, whenever Mickey's down for his nap, or if my parents, Mickey's grandparents, can watch him for a little bit. Basically 9 to 5 is me watching him. 8 a.m. to 5 is me basically being on dad duty. I bought a mountain bike and got this little attachment for it. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen it. It's called a Kids Ride Shotgun, and it's a little seat that mounts on the frame, and there's an extra handlebar that mounts on top of the regular handlebar. And basically what it lets your kid do for the ages of 2 to 5 is it lets them sit on this seat between your legs and arms and ride the bike with you, instead of being on a trailer or in one of those seats that mounts on the handlebar or mounts on some frame that sits behind your seat. So they get a way more aggressive, a way more interactive experience riding the bike with you. And it's a ton of fun. If you haven't seen my Instagram, I have some videos of him riding on it with me, and it has improved our quality of life 100%, which is awesome. On days where it's nice, like today, one of the things I will do is take the bike with him, and we'll just go ride around this neighborhood for like an hour. We'll just rip up and down the ditches and whatnot, and he's here for the wildness. He absolutely loves it. It's awesome. So it's like one of the best things that has happened for him and for me. When I was much younger, in late 90s, early 2000s, I was super into mountain biking and BMX and whatnot. Had a bunch of trails and whatnot that I dug on and jumped with all my buddies and stuff. So getting this bike really brought me back to my childhood, which was awesome. And I'm really excited. I'm not excited about that bee. Get away from my tea. Jeez Louise. I got a big glass of tea here, and there's a bee trying to get into it because it smells good. This just totally brought me back to childhood, and it's just an amazing stress reliever. So really excited to have gotten that. My mom called it an adult toy because it's a pretty fancy mountain bike. So it's definitely a shred sled. So it's great, and I'm really excited to expose him to that in addition to music. On the music side of things, what I am currently working on is a sound engine for the app Cordy. So the idea behind it is that, a lot of people have been asking me, hey, when are you going to add MIDI playback and all that stuff? And in order for that to work correctly, you need to have some means of playing sound. So I didn't want to write a synth from scratch. I didn't want to go sample a piano. I didn't want to go license a piano library. So I did the next best thing. I went and found some sound fonts that are open source or had a license that was an open source license, and have been writing a sound font engine that's going to run inside the app. So the sound font that I found was from the open source music editor software MuseScore, And that comes with this big General MIDI sound font, which has a real nice piano sound in it. So right now that engine is currently making sound, which is great. There's a couple things that it doesn't do that it should do, like it currently does not respond to sustain pedal messages. And then the whole sound font spec is really complicated, and it's got a lot of built-in synthesis control. Like, for instance, the most common thing is, if depending on how hard you hit the key, that's going to adjust the timbre of the sound. So for a piano sound, it's going to, change the filter frequency that's, controlling the brightness or darkness of the sound. And all that stuff is embedded right inside the sound font. And what you have to do is extract that information and then apply it to your synth that is playing the sound font samples. So it's a very complicated project. I've been working on it. Let's see, I started it 2 years ago when I was working on the iOS version of the app. And then I took a break when Mickey was born. Basically, I picked it up maybe like 2 or 3 months ago. Just started tweaking on it, seeing where I was in that, if it was like going to be major surgery to get it up and running again, or if I could get it functional. Turned out to be major surgery, of course, because that's the way it is with all things software. So I'm currently doing that. And then once that's done, then I can load that into the app. It's going to be an open source engine. So I'm excited to release it and get it out there in the world for people to use. It's basically the way that things are going to work is the app is going to be able to host its own plugins. And then this is going to be a sound font plugin that's going to have 16 channels in it. So you can load 16 different channels of, you can load MIDI files that have 16 channels in them and assign a different sound font sound to each channel. This is pretty standard MIDI synth engine type stuff. So sound font is kind of an old tech, and that makes it a free tech. So yeah, that's kind of the reason behind I went with that. And also like there's just a million different sound fonts out there that everybody has, and this will provide this. It's part of like a bigger project to provide a plugin for people to use in their DAW to continue using this stuff. It's also providing a way for the Juice framework, which is what my app is written in, to have a proper sound font implementation. So I'm kind of contributing on that front. And then, so it's all going to go in. It's all going to get used in the app. So it's kind of a monster project. Regarding the timeline on that, I had hoped to get this done by my birthday, which is at the end of this month, October. That's clearly not going to happen because of this mortgage process. But basically, once we get into that house, childcare duties are going to change a little bit because my mother-in-law is going to move in with us and take over that. And that will free me up to continue on with the development stuff and get back to making music and making videos of playing music and whatnot. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to have a mortgage that needs to be paid. But outside of that, like life for me is going to return a little bit back to normalcy, which is something I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I'll be able to dedicate more time to this and basically progress on these projects at a much quicker pace. Right now, it's kind of been a snail's pace. Like when I'm at home, and Mickey is in the care of my wife, from like the 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. period, my parents are home and they're making a bunch of noise in the kitchen and whatnot, and I'm in the same room. I think I showed a video of like where my desk is set up relative to them. Their house has a very open downstairs floor plan. So the kitchen, the living room, the dining area where my desk is set up, it's all open. They like to watch TV till like, they finish so dinner finishes at like 7 or 8. And then they like to watch their some show or the news or whatever from 8 till 10. And that's in the same room that my desk is in. So it's real hard for me to concentrate on this sound font stuff until they are done watching the news and they go to bed. So that's kind of a huge interruption for my ability to work on that stuff. So when we get in our house, that will change. I will yeah, when when we get in that house, I won't have that distraction. And then when the mother-in-law shows up, that's going to free up my days. So that's currently where we are with everything. Our current situation, my current situation, is basically just keep Mickey happy and having fun and trying to learn as much as he can, learning new words and stuff. And while it's sunny, be out here in the yard with my folks. I don't know if you can really see this. They're very avid gardeners. They have a lot of big projects that they're trying to do. They're putting in a yard on their property. You can see it a little bit. But that's what's going on for the most part. So please wish us luck, send prayers and whatnot regarding this house process, that everything goes extremely smooth, that we have no issues in getting this property. We're through kind of the sketchy phase, which is where we're seeing whether or not the seller is like cool with the price that we were offering. And they were, which was good. And then, we're just at whether or not everything we submitted checks out with the lender, and they're like, okay, you guys are good to go. Here's a bunch of money to pay for your house. So that's good times. All right. That's all I have for right now. I hope that's a cool status update for you guys. Thank you, as always, to everybody who is buying my app and taking my course. I'm glad to help you all learn that programming language, C++, and learn it in the context of writing audio software. And I'm glad that my app has been able to help a bunch of people continue their teaching studios and in their music classes, teach all their kids the names of notes, the names of chords, what that stuff looks like. I'm really looking forward to being able to continue developing it and making it better and whatnot. So I can't thank everybody enough who has supported it this year. It's been absolutely awesome. So with that, I'm going to wrap this video up and see you in the next one. Later.